Yesterday, we completed the chapter with Shaul. King Saul has just been named publicly as king of Israel. There are some people who are in favor of that. There are a few that are not in favor. How can this guy help us? And Saul has gone back home. He doesn't know what to do. There hasn't been a king in Israel before. He doesn't know what to do. And that's where our chapter begins. And we move over to the other side of the Jordan River. Vaya'al Nachash ha'amoni, we're in chapter 11. Vayichan al Yavesh Gilad, Vayomru kol amvei Anshe Yavesh el Nachash, Krat lanu brit v'na'avdecha. Nachash, the Ammonites, so Ammon, and Ammon is a descendant of Lot, back in the book of Breshit. His family that should have been brothers, family with the Jewish people, they're their enemies. And this king Nachash, right, the snake, he comes and he threatens, he marches up against the town of Yavesh Gilad. And he said, and the people of Yavesh Gilad say, we surrender basically. Let's make a pact and we will serve you. Vayomer alehem Nachash hamoni, bazot echrot lachem, bimkor lachem kol ein yamin. And Nachash said, okay, I'll make a pact with you on one condition, that everyone's right eye be gouged out. V'samtia cherpal kol Yisrael. And this will make a humiliation for all of Israel. So we have here, Nachash wants to conquer the community of Yavesh Gilad, and he wants to embarrass Bnei Yisrael, and he wants them, how is he going to embarrass them? By having everybody cut out their right eye. You can't have a right eye. Now, the reason behind this is that generally, the way it was in the ancient world is you would hold up your shield, and your shield would cover some of the vision from your left eye, and you would have your right eye to use your sword, throw your spear, whatever it was that you were using. So basically, by saying to them, we're going to cut out your right eye, they could no longer engage in any way in battle against Nachash. And this is right. He's saying to them, you want to make a treaty with me? This is what you're going to do. And that's going to show that I'm always going to be in charge of you. Vayomru elav, we're in verse 3. Ziknei Yavesh. Heref lanu shivat yamim v'nishlacham malachim b'chol gvul Yisrael v'yim'ein Moshia otanu v'yatzanu elecha. So the elders of Yavesh, they say, okay, give us a few days, give us a week. We're going to send messengers throughout all of Israel. If no one comes to our aid, we will surrender to you. So we're going to see. And this is a test. Bnei Israel, right? The whole book of Judges. We have clans, we have tribes. We don't have a united nation. And here, let's see the people in Yavesh Gilad all the way, far away from much of the rest of Bnei Israel, say, let's see if anybody comes to our aid. And surprisingly, at least to me, the Ammonites say, okay. And so the messengers depart. The messengers come to the hills where Shaul, the recently named king of Israel, lives. And they come and they speak to the people, tell them, Bnei Israel and Yavesh Gilad have been attacked, they've been threatened. And when they hear the message, everybody begins to cry, everybody's tearing, they're worried. They don't go straight to Saul because they can't find him. Because where's Saul? He's in the field driving the cattle. He thinks he's Billy Crystal in City Slickers or something. That's who he thinks he is. He's king of Israel, and yet he's still in the field. This is, again, one of the things that I mentioned about him. He is a person who sees himself not in a great way, but in a very humble way. I'm from the smallest of the tribes of Israel. He's hiding in the coat room when they're supposed to announce him and coronate him publicly as king. And here, instead of sitting on some throne, he's out with the cattle, driving, working, like nothing had changed. So he comes back, he said, what's going on? Why is everybody crying? And he's told the message about what happened. And for the second time, we have it where Shaul is enveloped, overtaken by the Spirit of God when he hears about the pain, the disaster that's happened to his co-religionists, to the Israelites in the town of Yavesh Gilad, and he gets angry as anything. Anger is not always a terrible emotion. What does he do? He takes an ox and he cuts it up into pieces, and he sends messengers throughout all of Israel with pieces of this cut up ox and says, this is what's going to be done to you if you don't follow Saul and Samuel into battle. And people are terrified and they come out together. You may be reminded here in this story of a story that we read not too long ago, the story of Pilegesh Iva, a woman who was gang raped and died from that. And her husband cut her up into pieces, her dead corpse, and sent it out to all of Israel. And all of Israel united in order to go and to take revenge upon the people who committed this rape. Of course, the people of Binyamin would not give her over. And what ended up happening is they went and they decimated the tribe of Binyamin. So this story is going back. And what's the big difference? And we've pointed this out over the last couple of days. This is not against the tribe of Binyamin, but the leader of Bnei Israel is from the tribe of Binyamin. So they're sending out these 12 pieces that have been cut up, led by King Saul of the tribe of Binyamin. They are united people together, and it's impossible not to look at the end of this first Ke'ish Echad and think all the way back to Sinai, where Bnei Israel were Ke'ish Echad, as Chazal say, Ke'ish Echad b'lev echad, like one person, like one heart all together. And so this is a great moment for Saul. How is he going to help us? Well, he seems to be doing it quite well. Continuing in verse 8, Vayifkadeim v'bezek vayu Bnei Israel shlosh meot elef v'ishu da shloshim elef. They count them in Bezek. They're on their way, 300,000 and 30,000 Yehuda, a strange verse. And this seems to indicate, as we've had in the past and we'll have in the future, a distinction, something different about the tribe of Yehuda. They're counted separately. Why is that? What does that mean? So the messengers who had come, they were told, go back to the people of Yavesh Gilad and tell them tomorrow a great salvation will come to you when the sun starts to grow hot in the middle of the day. And all of the people, they go and they tell the people of Anshe Yavesh, and they thought nobody was going to be there to protect them. And now they have people who are going there to protect. This word Machar is an interesting word. We have that with a lot of battles where we talk about that tomorrow. Today things seem bad, but Machar, everything will be fine. We have that verse in the Torah, Machar ha'otazeh. Tomorrow, the sign will come and everything will be okay. Sounds like, right? Orphanage. So the people of Anshe Yavesh are told tomorrow everything's going to be fine. Just don't worry about it. We're in verse 11. It's the next day. And so he divides the troop into 3 columns, and they go, they enter camp, they strike down the Ammonites until the middle of the day, as was right. You said it was going to be until the middle of the day. Now it's the middle of the day. The Ammonites have been defeated. And they scatter so much that there are not any place where there are 2 Ammonites together. They're running crazy. They're running wild. And so the people come to Samuel and they say, who are those people? Said Saul's going to reign over us? Who's he? He's from the tribe of Binyamin. He's a nobody. Hand them over to us. We'll put them to death. This is a great leader, a great man, a great ruler. And Shaul here is having a great chapter. It's a great moment in life. He says, nobody's going to die this day. This is a day where God brought us victory. There's no reason for anybody to die. So people they thought I wasn't going to be a great king. They thought I couldn't unite Bnei Israel together. They didn't have faith in me. That's fine. Hopefully I have proven them otherwise. Today's not a day for revenge. It's not a day for violence for us. It's a day for joy and happiness. And following that, Vayomer Shmuel el ha'am lechu v'nelchu ha'gilgal Shmuel says to the people, let's go to Gilgal, and there we will inaugurate the monarchy. So it's like we announce Saul. I remember, well, the word Melech wasn't used. The word that was used, Nagid, a prince. Melech is God. Melech is the king. Here Shmuel calls him the Melech. We're going to inaugurate the king. Now he's proven himself. He's a proven commodity. And so there, and where do they go back to? They go back to Gilgal. What is Gilgal? Gilgal is the place where the Jews camped when they first entered the land of Israel with Yehoshua. So it's like a restart, a recharge. They're starting again. A new moment, a new era, led by Saul with a king over Israel. Bnei Israel united. following the death of Yoshua, Bnei Israel, they were in clans. They had a leader from the tribe of Dan and a leader from the tribe of Yehuda and a leader of the tribe of Ephraim and Manasseh. They weren't together as a united people. Now it's like we're starting over again. And so we're going to go back to Gilgal and things are going to go well. And so they go to Gilgal. They publicly, again, coronate Saul in front of God. They offer sacrifices to thank God. And the people at Saul are extraordinarily happy. And so we see from the get-go that Saul, this person who is humble, this person who doesn't have too much, who sees himself as not being greater than everybody else, at first, he is able to unite the children of Israel. He's able to bring about great glory. He's able to save these people. And he does it in a way that demonstrates that whatever happened that showed the disasters of the time of the book of Judges, the Pilegesh V'Giva, the gang rape and the civil war that happened, those are behind us. We've reversed them. And here we are united together under the leadership of God with his chosen king Saul, ready to be God's people, Ish Echad, to continue and build the type of society that God wants. That's the potential. That's the hope as we begin the reign of King Saul.